All right, let's get it. Starting now. Welcome back, Giants fans, to another episode of Talking Big Blue with JQ. I'm your host, Jack Corderar, and on today's episode, I have the biggest Giants fan in the world known to mankind with me. LPG, everyone knows him, license plate guy. My man, how you doing?
What's happening, man? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, bro.
No, of course. I appreciate you coming on my show, man. I just wanted to ask you, how's everything been the past couple months for you?
It's tough. I look at this COVID nonsense. It's not nonsense. I look at this COVID stuff like almost like 9/11, and I don't mean any disrespect like that. You either know someone that has it, or you know someone that knows someone, and that's exactly like 9/11. It's rampant. It's everywhere. It's disgusting, and it's taken people's livelihoods and put people in big giant holes. Not to mention health wise, and look what it's done to our sports. So, I mean, I'm watching the Yankees Mets last night. I'm like, you kidding me? Like this? Are you kidding me? This is what we're watching? Like cardboard cutouts of people, and of course you have to pay for that. And I don't know, it's mind-boggling to me. So I'm just praying that football, it had all this time to figure it out, and I hope it figured it out. I really do.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, LPG. I mean, it's just been a roller coaster of emotions the past couple of months, and just to see like how the society is doing in this world in general is just crazy. And like you said, you have to pay for a cutout at a stadium if you want like your face there. Like I guess the stadiums have to make money somehow, right, LPG? And it's just like it's just sad. Like I feel like I like I'm no expert. I feel like a couple fans could go in a couple sections, but it's just not going to be the same. This year it's going to be so different.
It won't be the same. And to be honest with you, okay, all right. This has been bothering me for months now, and I've been asked this question a million times. Like, how are they going to do fans? Like, so they're going to allow certain PSL owners in because a lot of PSL owners, put their tickets in for 2021. So are they going to choose a bunch from those? Are they going to choose a section? Are they going to choose certain rows in that section? I can't even begin to tell you how crazy it's going to be, because don't forget, I go on the road as well. This will be my 20th year going to every game. So I'm sure I don't have a ticket on the road, let alone I have a good seat at my PSLs are good at the stadium. I'm down low. Not this year, because the first 15, 20 rows or whatever the rumor is going to be all, boarded up or whatever it is, for signage. So your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what they're going to do with the fans, if there even are fans allowed at the game. Now, that's cool with me. I'll gladly sit home if I get Giants football.
See, I'm thank you, LPG, for mentioning that last part. As long as football can happen, I'm okay with staying home. You know what I'm saying? Because Justin and Bobby. I was talking to Justin Panic. He says like they're doing advertisements all in the first like 15 rows.
They are. It's like. Did you see remember the Giants the London game?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a funny story. So the Giants get picked to play in London, and I already went to the Giants Dolphins game, and now I'm going back to London. And I'm like, oh man, like I got to get front row somehow, like that's where I sit on the road, not at home. Although I own PSLs front row at home, I sell those to offset my costs for the road. So I'm like, I call some buddies at the NFL. LPG, I can't help you. Click, you're on your own. So I wound up getting front row, but front row in London was not front row because they sold signage. And actually, when I got there, it was awesome because I think I was row like 25 or whatever it was. And that was row 1. And my plates, I brought all my plates to London, and they all went down the signage. They didn't have me move it either. It was awesome. It was actually pretty cool to have them just sit there.
That's awesome. That seems like such a cool experience to go to a London game and stuff like that, because it's just such a different culture in London, especially from New York.
Amazing. It was amazing.
That is just insane. I wish I could go with you, honestly. It was probably a good game, too. But I wanted to ask you.
You can't get on a plane, bro?
No.
You can't get on a plane?
I can. I can.
You're going.
I can.
Next London game, you're going. That's it.
I would love to. I would love to go. Absolutely. It'd be a dream come true because I love going to MetLife and I've been to a couple other stadiums. But I wanted to ask you, LPG, besides MetLife, your favorite stadium, of course. Like going on the road, do you have like a favorite stadium like where you like to go and you're just like, oh wow, like this stadium's beautiful.
Yeah, I say this all the time. I get asked that question, and there's just one answer, and it's, believe it or not, it's AT&T. You can't compare that stadium to anything. You could pick up MetLife and you could put it inside of AT&T. It's gigantic, and yeah, Dallas fans are they're insane. They have no idea what decade they live in. They, you know, but their hospitality is pretty darn cool, and they're very nice. Believe it or not, yeah, you get your jerks in every stadium, including MetLife. But I go down there on maybe a Friday night or Saturday for a Sunday or Monday game. I stuff myself with every barbecue that you could possibly imagine. It's 1,000 degrees, but the stadium itself is gorgeous. Jerry did it right. Do you know that AT&T has like 7 tiers?
Yep.
So that's so big that they have like Bud Light cheerleaders on like the 5th level because they can't see the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders on the field. So they got like 2 sets. And then they have these glass doors that open up. It's just a beautiful, beautiful stadium. I mean, he did it right. He did it right.
No, it seems like a great stadium. I've actually interviewed another guy on my podcast, Anthony. He was like, he lives in Austin, Texas, so he's like, I go to Dallas Giant games. I'm a big Giant fan. He's like, dude, like that stadium is just remarkable. It just doesn't compare to any other stadium.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Green Bay, the history, Kansas City, Seattle, that's so loud. I mean, I love Minnesota built up. Oh my God, it's a mini AT&T, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Atlanta, holy cow! I look at that stadium and I'm like, MetLife. I mean, what did you build? What did you build here?
They built it right next to the Izod Center, or what it used to be the Izod Center back in the day.
Just they should have. Well, I don't know. I'm on a thingy. They should have built. And my nephew comes over. He's like, "What's for lunch?" You could have. Could you imagine what you could have done if you had that, like the Brendan Byrne or whatever they call it, and the track, and you could have done something just stupid. You could have made Jerry's World. You could have made Mara World. You could have made Tish World, and it would have been like a theme park. And you could have taken over the mall across the street. You could have done a whole mess of things. You really could have. You could have made that New York City.
Yeah. No, it's really true. I feel like they had the land out in East Rutherford too to do that, but I guess when it comes down to money, it comes down to money. It just like it depends how much they want to do. And Jerry Jones has all the money in the world. I feel like he can do whatever he wants.
That kills me. That kills me when people say that. It comes down to the money. You're not wrong, but who built MetLife? Do you know who paid for MetLife?
Nope.
We paid for MetLife.
Yeah.
The PSLs. We made trillions, millions, and millions of dollars for them to build it. They didn't pay for it. We paid for it. I mean, you know what I'm saying, kind of. But
yeah, but no, definitely.
So throw another couple of million on there. You already spent $1 billion. Do it right. I don't know. At the time, I love old Giant Stadium. At the time, I don't know. Everybody's jonesing for something new. I was probably on the same bandwagon as that. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I wasn't. I probably was like, oh, new stadium? Yo, let's go. Everybody's kind of like that until they build it, and you're like, oh, I like the old one better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. MetLife is not a bad stadium, but for 1.2 billion or 1.6 billion, could have been something better, and it could have been domed. And don't start with the old Giants football and the weather and the this and that and the Phil Simms throwing through the air and this and that. Dome it, and you could have concerts and this and that. Don't get me started, man. I go all day with talking about the stadium.
They could have used it like so many other ways too, like you said, LPG with the concerts and stuff like that. I wanted to ask you about this. So everyone knows on Twitter you keep tabs on all retired Giants players. Like you were just at David Tyree's, the opening of his smoothie shop. I'm pretty sure, correct, in Jersey.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to ask you. I know you probably don't pick favorites, but if there's one guy you still keep in touch with the most from like years past, who is it? What player?
it's a great question. I talked to a lot of guys on the 42 and 46 teams. Okay, probably my two, besties, definitely Chase Blackburn and Brandon Jacobs. I mean, I go to their houses a few times a year. They come here a few times a year. Um, and that's never going to change. But someone like a Soybert or a Tollefson or a Tynes, like those, those are my friends.
Yeah.
They were around. Ahmad Bradshaw, like Bear Pasco, they were. I was around, and bothering them, when they were winning Super Bowls, and they were like, "Dude, who the hell are you?" And then we just became friends. And there's something to say. Like, I'm not part of the team. I never was part of the team. I'm just a fan like you. But when you go on some magical run and you are a fan and you form this relationship with them, and it just happens to be a Super Bowl year, they don't forget you, and vice versa. So that's how relationships are really made. Shoot, Victor Cruz, how can I leave him out? It just a lot of guys from 42 and 46. And it just goes to show you that if I wasn't friends with those guys or they didn't like me, they wouldn't come to the softball game. They wouldn't come to the charity game. So, that's really the guys.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see the softball game get canceled this year. I actually donated to the charity this year too. I told you about that, a couple months
Yes, you
back.
did.
Yes,
I that
had
look.
to do my part.
I felt horrible calling it. I made the right decision, obviously, not putting anybody in harm's way. Uh, but I look at the charity piece of it, and it bothers me that they lost out on $30,000 to $50,000. And I do a lot of work when I pick a charity. The 2 years it was Coughlin J Fund, and 2 years it was St. Christopher's and Dobbs Ferry, an organization that battles, that has troubled youth. So I went just like you. I went on my social media, and I started selling stuff in my sheds back there. That's full of giant stuff where wherever in my basement, and we raised a lot of money for them. So they, I don't know what a lot of money is, but they were happy, and I was happy giving back. Especially not having a game.
And that's all that matters, LPG. Just giving back and doing as much as you can, because it sucks to see the softball game get canceled. Because I've been following you on Twitter for a while, and I see all the players there. Like when Landon Collins used to be on the Giants, I used to see him post about it and stuff. It's just like such an awesome way to get the players together and just build a nice connection with all of them. Because I just want to drool over that. Like you just get the like you said, you're just a regular fan at the end of the day, but you just get to hang out with all these guys and you've met so many cool Giant players before. I just see that. I'm just like, I wish I could just do that. Like it's just,
Yeah.
I'm like so jealous. I'm just I'm such a big Saquon Barkley fan. Like I just think he's such a great guy, like on and off the field. And like I saw you like dabbing him up before the Redskins game, like on on the field, like totally on the turf and everything. I'm just like, man, I was like, I wish I could just be there with them and just like they're just like hanging out with boys.
It's funny you say that. I appreciate you saying that, and don't be jealous, because anybody can put in the time and do it. And I am, like I said, I'm just a fan. Yes, I might have a tiny bit more access than some people at times, but I put my dues in, man. I've been doing this a long time. LPG did not just come onto the scene when social media happened. Like
Mhm.
I was going to games when I wasn't driving, but I was taking a bus to a train to go to a Chicago game, and coming home. Like, that sucked. We just got crushed. So I put years in, and if I'm reaping the benefits right now of being so close to some players or this and that, then so be it.
No, yeah, I think it's just awesome because, like you said, like you've been going for games now for 20 straight years, correct? Do you
Yeah,
have?
I think home's like 40 years, and home and away this will be my 20th.
That's awesome, dude. I think that's just like such an awesome like accomplishment too. Because my uncle had season tickets to the Giants, but they ended up selling them a couple of years ago because the prices of the tickets just raised a bunch. So, but he used to be in like the third deck. So I used to go to all the games. Like I was there from like I think it was like probably like 2005 and on till at least like 2012, 2013. So I've seen some insane home games, like the game against the Saints Giants, where it was like a torrential downpour at MetLife. Like I was at that game, and the Giants beat up on Drew Brees and the Saints. Like I just have like so many memories LPG at MetLife that I'll just like never forget. And it's just like I just love that place. I just want to go back. I just want to.
I think we need I think we need a little more memories at MetLife. We don't have enough. We don't have enough.
We don't. We really don't have enough. But I wanted to ask you, besides, Super Bowl 42 and 46, the 2007, 2011 season, what other seasons like stood out to you as a Giants fan and just like, going as a season ticket holder, like where you could be like, wow, like I can't wait to go to a game every Sunday. Like, I mean, obviously you love going to every game, but like what season stood out the most?
Well, that's a really good question. I appreciate you asking that. Obviously your most memorable seasons are going to be the ones where you've made the playoffs. But what I do, it's funny. It's a really good question because what I do is I immediately look at the away games. I know that you said home, but you said season, and it's really what cool away games am I going to be able to go to? So I'll base the year off of pretty cool away games and home games, of course, and then if the Giants made the playoffs or not, because the ultimate goal is got to get in it to win it. But I would say opening MetLife, that season was awesome. A new stadium, finding your seat, doing it, that was really cool. But if you had to ask me for a season, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to give you every single season I look forward to. That opening game, man, there's nothing better than opening day. I don't care if it's baseball. I don't care if it's basketball. But the love that we have for the Giants, it's opening day for football.
Opening day is probably the best day in the whole entire year, 364 days. It's just that, like, what stinks, LPG? It's just like now the Giants on opening day, they're home against the Steelers on Monday night. And fans are probably not going to be allowed at that game. In the last couple of years, we've been at Dallas for opening day. So what do you think? I mean, like, we're no experts, but do you think we're going to be able to get some fans in stadiums this year? Because, like, I'll be there. I will be there. If we're allowed to go, you will see me there.
I flip-flop on this a million times. I have no idea of the answer. I would have months ago when we were almost getting things together, and then unfortunately we had some unfortunate events happen in the world, and then the protests and peaceful protests and this and that and some rioting and whatever else people were doing. I think we fell back into a rut. I don't think there's another phase. I think we've never left the first phase. And here's football watching everything. Here's Goodell. Here's all of these people like, oh, what is basketball doing? What is baseball going to do? How are they going to do their fans? So I don't know, man. I want there to be fans in the stands. I don't know how they would do it if they only elect to have 10 to 20 fans. It's such a mind-boggling thing to go through because I want to keep everybody safe. I don't want, and it's not, don't get me wrong. I'm good. I'm healthy. Okay, great. I still don't want it. I don't want to give it to some old Giant fan either. That's next to me, 5 feet and not 6 feet. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I will sit back and I will wait and I will see what the NFL comes up with and how they're going to keep the players safe and how they're going to keep the fans safe. And if they have a good plan, I'm going. But I just hope everybody's safe.
No, I do too. That's what I care about the most at LPG. At the end of the day, it's just everyone being safe and healthy. If they can't have fans in the stadium, but they can still play football at the end of the day, sign me up. I'm okay with that. And obviously,
and then keep the players safe. Are you gonna wear some of those ridiculous helmets? Are you gonna? Are a 350-pound lineman gonna wear that thing and not be able to breathe if that's the case? And what's going on? And the last thing the NFL came out with 2 weeks ago or a week ago. They said no swapping jerseys at the end of the game. Okay, let me tackle a dude for 60 minutes, but nah, let me not swap a jersey with him at the end.
That mind boggles me because it's like you said, you're gonna be competing with another guy for 60 minutes up to an hour, and then it's just like, well, we can't shake it off and just be like, you played a great game. Let's get a nice jersey swap in. I think they're taking some of the fun out of like the NFL. Like, come on, like that's just like I love seeing at the end of the games. Just like I remember when Odell used to do it all the time. He just be he was the man that everyone wanted his jersey after the game, and he's always handing it out. It was nuts. It was nuts. But now you see guys like Saquon, they all do it and stuff like that. So
everybody does it. Everybody does it. They should still be able to do it. I think they're still gonna do it, but from it's either sideline to sideline or get the PR person with the mask. Hey, bring this over to so and so. Get this sign. Get his. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's a part of the sport. It's a part of like the end game tradition. I feel like it's just a nice way to say good game.
It's become that way.
And it's just like a way of earning respect. Like, you play well against some guy. And he's like, I want your jersey now because like you earned my respect or in some way like that. But I have a really cool Giants story to share with you, and I want you to share one after. Okay, deal with you?
No doubt.
Okay, so it wasn't me personally, but my uncle and his son, they went to, like his whole family went to Super Bowl 46 in Indianapolis, and they're staying at this hotel, and it was actually the same hotel the Giants stayed at. And like I guess they thought it was booked, but I guess maybe they had someone on the inside who got them like a room inside that hotel that they might have known. My uncle goes in to get into the elevator the night before the Super Bowl, and he's like going up the elevator, and on one floor, Jason Pierre-Paul and Justin Tuck walk into the elevator with him and his son. And it's just like those two in the middle, and it's Justin Tuck and Jason Pierre-Paul. Yeah, like my uncle said, Jason Pierre-Paul had no neck, but my uncle remembers looking at both of them. He said, "Oh, go get Brady tomorrow." And they just looked at him. And they go, "Oh, like for sure, we're gonna go get him. We're gonna go after him tomorrow." It's just like I get chills like thinking of it. Just like meeting those two guys, Tuck and Pierre-Paul in the elevator. I was like, wow. I was like, that is such a cool story. And I was like, they must be like you've met these guys like. I feel like on TV, like the size doesn't define like how they actually are. Like a guy like Brandon Jacobs, like I would love to meet him one day in person, or just like get him on the podcast at some point, just like to see how like massive and built these guys are.
He's a monster, and you're right. These guys are tremendous. Like they're tremendous. And then you put them in a uniform, they're that much bigger. I mean, they really are tremendous. And yeah, those stories are pretty cool. Those are the stories that'll stick with your uncle's son. You're forever. He'll remember that forever. Hopefully, he took a little picture of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because it's just like them just to be there because we always watch the Super Bowl every year at their house. Like that's our tradition. We're always like, oh, let's go to Uncle Brian's house for the Super Bowl. And then they made it in 2011, and he's like, I think I'm going this year. And then they got tickets and they went. So it was just. I
gotta tell you that he's a lucky guy because when the Giants, you said Super Bowl 46, right?
Yes.
When the Giants were going to the Super Bowl, it was too late to book anything. Mm-hmm. And I got a hookup. This is a funny story. I got a hookup. Ready? A hookup at a hotel 30 minutes away for a 4-night minimum stay at $5.99 a night.
Oh my God. Wow.
So I had to take it. I spent most of my time at the Marriott with the Giants as well. I think it was the JW Marriott, I think. But that was a hookup. So it was $1,800, whatever, $1,200 for the weekend, and then 2 more nights you had to go. So I remember calling up every, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Every friend I had, I know $600 a night. Any friend. You need a place to stay? Need a place to stay? Need a place? I had like 6 guys in a room, thank God, and offset some costs. Right. We all whatever it is, we split it. We had mad guys on the floor, but you want to go to the Super Bowl? I got a room because a lot of people that were going didn't get a place to stay, and you couldn't take your car a lot of places. In my hotel, you had to leave your car and take shuttles into Indianapolis. So it was. I mean, look, they do it right. They really do. But it was crazy time. Super Bowl's a crazy time.
It is. I just saw like the scene at Miami this year too, especially like they blocked off so many streets and stuff like that too at the Hard
Yeah.
Rock, Cafe Stadium, excuse me. But I just think it's so cool. Like I'm just like my dad went to a Super Bowl. He went to one way back in the day. It was like Green Bay and someone, but I remember he went with my uncle like when I was before I was even born. He said like it was just such like a fun experience. It was in San Francisco somewhere, but it was just like really cool. But like
You
just
you you gotta go.
I
It
want
is a great experience. Don't it's not. Don't get me wrong. I I won't. I went down this year. I didn't go to the game. I went down. I did some interviews. I had some fun. I went home. But I won't go to a Super Bowl if the Giants aren't in it. I
Mhm.
won't.
Yeah,
But if the Giants go, you need to put that on your bucket list. A lot of people say they're gonna go.
I'm going. I'm going.
Yeah, you have to. And please don't. I know this sounds so weird, but don't make an excuse about money.
I
It's
know.
very expensive. It's very expensive. Start putting away. You know, you put money away for your car. You put money
Yep.
away. You want to move out. You put money away for this. So you put $50 away every month, 25 bucks away. The Giants are not doing so well. So I'm sure you'll have plenty of money when the Super Bowl comes around. But you might have a few $1,000 where you're like, man, I'm so happy that I put that away 5 years ago. I got this to play with. Could this be my ticket? Could this be at least my way to get there? I'm telling you, put it away in a little fun and just put Super Bowl on it, and you'll thank yourself in X amount of years. You
Good.
got to foreshadow. You got to foreshadow.
I'm gonna start doing that now because when in a couple
Telling you,
next
man.
years, I expect them to be there. That's how biased I am, and I just have high hopes of the New York Giants. But
I
yeah,
agree. I agree with
like
that. You know that.
LPG, it's just like the money. It gets expensive, obviously, and pricey. But just like you being there, and obviously the Giants winning twice, and you were at both Super Bowls. It's just like wow, like money doesn't matter at this point. Like I witnessed like two of the probably greatest games ever as like a Giants fan. Like it's just
Yeah.
like.
Look, I was a kid. I went to two, 21 and 25.
Mhm.
But dad paid for that, thank God. And you know, so I've been to 5 Super Bowls. I only talk about 4. But the greatest weekend I ever had was the one I don't talk about. Tampa Bay was incredible.
Really?
It was incredible until the game. Then it sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, was that 2001? Correct.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
My uncle said he almost threw his TV out of his house because he was so frustrated. I don't even want to talk about it because
You know what? All right. You know what? I don't tell this story a lot, but I'm going to tell this story because it's pretty funny. So I get to the stadium mad early, and I'm sitting in the end zone somewhere, maybe 15, 16 rows back. I got a good ticket for that game, Super Bowl 35, and I get in early and I go all the way down to the end zone to the front row, to talk some crap to the Ravens players, and Dilfer, and I'm like, you suck, I was all over him, and for some reason I couldn't stop bitching at Brandon Stokely. All right. So Stokely is catching a ball. His back is to me. So I'm over there, front row, warm up. He's at the goal line with his back to me, catching passes, stepping back into the end zone. Catching, stepping him up. You better enjoy the end zone now. You ain't gonna see it during the game. You suck. Your quarterback suck. I mean, I just I don't do that crap now, but I don't know why. In Super Bowl 35, I was going bananas, right? So, he never turns to me. He never says a word to me. And I was going at it maybe a good 10 minutes. That's a long time. And finally, he's done catching passes, throws the ball to someone else, turns around, runs back towards me, and says, I'll see you here in the first quarter. Now, at the first thing, I was like stunned, right? I was like, wait, what did he? No, you ain't. I didn't even know what to say, I was like, no, you ain't, and then he just ran off, right? So fast forward to the first quarter. Dilfer throws Stokely the ball, beats Seahorn, and scores when I tell you, bro, in the same spot he was catching the pass. No, not over here, not over here, not down there, right there. And
Wow.
I swear to you, I have the newspaper. There's a picture of Stokely scoring, and he's like this. I swear to you that he is 1,000% looking for me.
Oh,
I swear to you. And he became a Giant. I don't know if you knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, yeah. Stokely became a Giant, and I went to one of the Giant hotels. He was only on the Giant, I don't know, for a couple. I don't know how long he was on a Giant for. It wasn't even a year.
Yeah.
And he got hurt, and I remember looking for him because I desperately wanted to ask him, hey, do you remember? And I never got to. I never got to talk to him about it. One day I'm going to ask him. Not that he'll remember.
One day, LPG, you gotta find him. He'll remember, because if you were chirping him for at least 10 minutes, like, a player could hear that.
Man, I'm fucking chirping.
That's awesome. I think, and, I mean, I don't think it backfired, but just for like him, like, to be pointing and looking around, like, he was 100% looking for you. No doubt in my mind.
I love that you just said that, because I can't stand a certain person, fan base wise, when they're like, oh, you jinxed it, that's why he scored. Shut up. I don't know how people could say that. Like if you're sitting there in the stands and you're like, yeah, good win by the Giants with 5 seconds left, and magically there's some kicker kicks a 90-yard field goal, it's not your fault. I hate when people do that. Although Bill Parcells instilled it in Giant fans about superstition. So I don't know. Maybe it exists. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
LPG, Super Bowl 46, I was watching it in my house with my buddy, and so my parents were watching in the living room, and we were watching just in my kitchen, like at the island in my kitchen on a small TV. And from hitting the wood so many times, because we were just like, don't jinx anything, don't jinx anything. I literally had bloody knuckles at the end of the game, because I was like hacking away at my floor, being like, oh, don't jinx this, don't jinx that. And then what the funny thing was too is the kitchen was like, it was live. And the living room TV LPG was like a couple seconds behind. So when yeah, so this is hilarious. But you'll see, this is really cool. When Tom threw up the ball and Gronk, like when he like just missed it at the end of the game, me and my buddy Jack, we started screaming in the kitchen, and we ran as we're running into the living room. We literally watched Tom release the ball again and watch Gronk miss it again. We come in screaming, jumping up and down, and my dad jumps up on the couch and goes, "What happened? What happened?" And I go, "Watch the game." And then he just watched it, and it was just like, and we all started celebrating and hugging. It's just like, I just want to do it again. I want to do it again.
Gronk was far away from that ball, but when he was diving after it, I think it was him and Deion Grant, or it was one of those D-backs. I was like, I was with you. I was like, oh my God, like, incredible.
Can I ask you something? In 2007, when Plexico Burress caught the game-winning touchdown in the back of the end zone, what was going through your head while you're in the stadium?
So that was around the time, I guess, license plate guy was born, because I wasn't license plate guy. I was oh my God guy. On the DVD, after he catches it, that's Tyree. After Tyree catches it,
yeah,
oh my
picture, God. I love that picture. Great picture.
So that's where LPG was kind of like the oh my God guy. But it was almost like destiny. Like, you were sitting in your seats, you couldn't believe what you were watching, because the score was so low. And when Plax caught that ball, I guess I went nuts, but I'm also a coach. So the minute he caught that ball, you look up and you're like, oh my God, that's too much time. That's too much time. It's too much time. So you're celebrating, you're really scared, because Tom Brady now has, I don't care if Tom Brady has 3 seconds. I don't care if the Patriots have 3 seconds.
That's very true.
You're in trouble. I mean, I go back to what they did to us when we almost beat them in the last game of the season. Randy Moss, Brady overthrows him, and like what are we in backyard where he goes, hey Tom, let's do it again. Again. And he goes out there and he does it, same play. So you do start freaking out a little bit, but I couldn't believe they got the ball. They scored a touchdown. Are you kidding me? Giants are going to win a Super Bowl. Now, obviously, the rest is history. But I'll tell you a really funny story. So, Super Bowl 42, I'm sitting in the family section, and the game ends, and there's an usher. So like 7th row, and there's an usher. Zach Diassi comes over, and he starts telling the usher to get his family on the field. So I'm right next to the Diassi family. So there goes his there goes his family. Boom, boom, boom. And the usher looks at me and he's like, now, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm not part of the family. Dude, I cried for days that I told the truth right there. For days. It was just a reaction. I didn't think, when the usher said go, I was like, no, I'm not. Like if
you're following the rules of the stadium, yeah.
It bothered me. I can't tell you how long. And then that was probably the year I was becoming very close with Chase Blackburn. And I always told him, like, I don't care what it takes. If you ever go back to the Super Bowl, I am sitting with your kids, with your wife, and I'm going right on that field. So,
and that's what happened.
I did get on in 46. I did throw confetti. I hugged Manning on the field, like stuff that will go to my grave. Yeah, it will go to my grave with me. So I did fulfill that terrible.
You're good. Continue. You're good.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I fulfilled what I had to do.
That is just, you'll have those memories for the rest of your life, and you could tell all your kids and grandkids, like, you got to hug Eli Manning after he won a Super Bowl. Like, I'm sitting here right now, I'm just like, the emotions I have in my body right now, I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah, I'll tell you another funny story before we get off here. All right. So there's players are in the locker room. There's a bunch of management people, some celebrities, few more like people that are going up the stage to take a picture with the trophy. Players already did it. They did their thing. They're in the locker room celebrating. I'm online. I'm the next person to hit the staircase. I don't know if it was Steve Tisch. I don't know, it was somebody in his party. I forgot who it was, but they were like LPG, and I turned and I was like, oh yeah. We hugging. I turned back around and Flavor Flav is walking up the staircase. He just right in front of me. I didn't care. It was Flavor Flav. Like, oh, Flavor Flav. He goes up, takes a picture. They closed it. He was the last one to take a picture with the trophy.
Dang.
That's it. So that's another thing on my list. I guess one day maybe I'll hold the trophy on the platform and take a picture. But that's a true story, and I was blocked by Flavor Flav. Thanks, Flav.
That is insane. I just want to say I appreciate you sharing these stories with me, LPG. Like, I just think it's like the coolest thing ever. Like that you got to experience it. Like, so many people are like want to be in your shoes and just experience that moment. And like hard work pays off. Like they say, you grinded it out. You went to all the games, and like you got noticed over the years, and it pays off, man. Like, I love like following your content and stuff like that. It's just awesome, man. Like I just love, talking to any Giant fan, but dude, you're the #1 fan, dude. If anyone ever tries to beat you out, I'll fight them. I'll fight them. You tell me, you DM me, I'll come fight them for you. I'll be like, listen, no one's replacing LPG.
I appreciate that. I just, I could see, first of all, you'll appreciate this, because as your following grows and as your content gets better, when you have better guests than me on, you're gonna develop haters. Okay, I have plenty, and I can only say it's jealousy. I don't know why you would hate another Giant fan. But you know, I always say the same thing to the people that hate. I have a motto, and it's literally everybody wants to see you do good, just not better than them.
Yep.
And when you follow that, you will see that people are going to start. One of your friends one day, is going to start a podcast or is going to start what you do. And he's no longer going to follow. He's no longer going to follow you. He's no longer going to like your stuff. And you're going to be like, why? I could like yours. You could like mine. Like, we're not in competition.
Yeah, it's simple.
But you know, I could see people hating me if my tickets were free, if the Giants paid my way, if I was getting that stuff, if I was riding back on the plane with them, I could see people like, you know, F that guy, man, screw him. Some deep jealousy there. But I would be mad if there was a fan doing that as well, and it wasn't me. So you live with it. It is what it is, you know, and whatever. We move on.
No, and I appreciate you sharing that because I've been starting to learn it as the more content, like the more viewers I get. I also work for Empire Sports Media, like with Alex Wilson, and I write articles daily or like every couple of days, and I make some highlight clips for their YouTube channel for Fireside Giants, and like I'll post like something on my Twitter and be like, oh, this is what I think of like Saquon's Madden rating, and some kid the other day was like, who cares about first off I said who cares about the Madden, but still like put some respect on Saquon's name. And the kid was like, it doesn't matter. We should have drafted someone else. The team was so unprepared to have Saquon come in. And I was like, I get it, but like, you know, we have him now. And like he's a part of the team. So if you're not gonna support him, then just get out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
I don't know who the heck you're talking to. Look what the crap I went through with Jones. I wanted Jones. I definitely didn't want him at 6, but I wanted Jones. Like, my reaction was, I can't believe we didn't get Josh Allen.
I know.
Do with Jones. But again, the people on social media or the haters, they will rush, and I mean rush, to get to your faults more than your accomplishments.
And that pisses me off because I see everything you post, and I always see in the comment section, like if I leave a reply or not, LPG, someone's always has to say something bad. And honestly, it really pisses me off because if you look at their profile, they're probably a Giants fan too, or like just an immediate fan of football. And it's just like why you gotta hate? Like, why you always gotta be so jealous or something, you know?
There's actually a couple of answers for that. They're either young or they're frustrated. And Giant fans are freaking frustrated, bro. I'm frustrated with you. And a lot of people are done, you know, listening to license plate guy saying this is our year, this is our year, this is our year. But I'm always gonna say it. I'm a homer. I'm never gonna change. That's the way it is.
And that's how it should be. And like before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you this. I ask everyone this at the end of an episode of Talking Big Blue with JQ. So you know you're one of the many now. I want you just a thought. What do you think the Giants' record's going to be in the 2020 season if they play? Like, what do you like? Just give it to me.
Dave, let me tell you something. Giants got some weapons. I don't care what anybody says. And sometimes Giants have had weapons in the past, but health has always been a concern. That's across the league. But I think the Giants have weapons if they stay together. We've been saying that since Cruz and Odell. If we could only stay together and formulate this offense. I love Judge, at least what I've seen and heard. I love that he has some veterans and some rookies as far as the coaching staff. I love Garrett, not as a head coach, as an offense coordinator. I love it. I think the Giants are going to get into the playoffs. I think they're going to have double-digit wins. I shot for 11. I'll take 10. They'll be that playoff team. I can't wait for 2021. They picked the Giants again to finish somewhere near the basement. I totally disagree with it. I think Jones is going to light up the league. I think Saquon's going to have 8,000 yards. I really expect big things from the Giants. I really do.
I do too. I've been saying too in my previous episodes. I say double-digit wins all the time. My friends are like, "Oh, like I'm going more for like the 7-9 vibe, or like just 5." They're like, just 500. Obviously, I'm happy with an improvement from last season, but I'm like, hell no. I'm like, I want to be like 15-1 or like 14-2 going into the playoffs rolling. But like, who's going to be a standout player this year for you? Who's going to be the one? I
think Jones is going to spread the ball around. I think he's really going to step up. I do. And I don't mind if they wear red. I don't care about that superstition either.
I do like the red jersey.
I don't give a crap that people say they don't win in it. They don't, but I like them. I think Jones is going to step up. I think he's going to give the ball. Could you imagine having some kind of a double tight end? Ingram's going to be a problem if he's healthy. Caden Smith is awesome. I
Very
think he's a
good.
great end.
Very good.
I think Slayton's going to step up. I think Showtime Tate. Let me tell you something. I was like, that contract without Tate, you would have 0 wins, I think. So I think the Giants have a lot of weapons. Yes. It's going to boil down to the defense. I think,
And they got weapons on defense too.
I know, but you need Zoe Carter. You need X-Man to step up. If they have good season, it's over, bro.
I need to see X-Man play more this year. I need his snap percentage and count to go up. But I love McKinney. I love Peppers. I love Julian Love. James Bradbury, I can't wait to see him play. He's
the best cornerback. I couldn't believe that Giants got him.
And the guys he had to cover Julio, Michael Thomas, the names going forever, Mike Evans. He covered some of the best 5 receivers in the league last year. And it proves the way he played. DeAndre Hopkins also. I'm so excited. I just need football to happen.
No doubt, bro. No doubt.
But LPG, man, I just want to say thanks for coming on an episode of Talking Big Blue with Jake. I truly understand. I think you could tell, but it just means so much to me to have you on. I've been chasing after you for a while, and I finally got you now. But dude, I just want to say I'm just appreciate everything you do for Giants fans, and a lot of other Giants fans should appreciate what you do for them too, because you just shed a light on the Giants that no one else does, and I love it, dude. I love all your content. And it's just a great follow. You're a great follow, man. You're just keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully, maybe we'll see each other at a game this year or something.
Yeah, I would love it. I really appreciate it. And I will come on anytime you want, my friend. Just let me know.
Awesome. Thanks, my man. Giants,
thanks so much.
I just want to say thanks for, tuning into another episode. To all my listeners out there, I hope you're staying safe and healthy. And we'll see you all on another episode.